Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought I would have some fun with you playing around with some backgrounds. I really love the fact that all of our cardstock and our inks and everything coordinate together. And we do some beautiful designer series paper, but sometimes it's quite fun to do your own backgrounds. And as you know, I love doing backgrounds. So we're going to create this fun background. What we need to do first of all is to just get a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to move everything out of the way. And we need to choose a series of 3 colours that we like that are going to coordinate. So I'm going to show you 2. The first one I'm going to do with Dapper Denim, Tranquil Tide and Night of Navy, because I think those 3 go really nicely together. So we also need an acrylic block, and we also need one of our little spritzers, which you literally just fill up with water, and they're really good. Now, you can do this with watercolour paper. I'm just doing it today with just some ordinary Whisper White cardstock. So what we need to do is we need to very lightly mist this, and I'm just actually going to take it away because we want a very light mist. I'm taking it off of camera so I can just literally just do a couple of sprays. You will find that the paper will warp like that. So if you turn it over and do exactly the same thing on the other side, let's give it a little mist, you'll find that it'll flatten out again. Now, that's all we're going to do to start off with, and we're going to take the Dapper Denim, which is the paler one, and with the side of the block, we are going to just take it on the side and just bring it down. So as you can see, if I hold it up, you've just got a little bit on the side. And all we're going to do is we're going to put this down, and we're going to put it fairly flat, and we're just going to wiggle it down. And literally, the more you wiggle it, the more you get sort of a bit of a pattern on it. Then we're going to take it again, and we're going to take it at another angle. So for this, I'm just going to turn it round a bit, and we're going to take one from here, I think. And again, down, bit of a wiggle. And we're going to take another one, turn it round, take it from the bottom and just put it down and wiggle. Okay, so we've got sort of 3 sort of wiggly patterns on there, and that one obviously had a little bit more water, so it's got a little bit more of a wiggle on. Now, if we then take our, let's take some Tranquil Tide, and this time we're going to do exactly the same thing. So fairly flat, a little bit of a wiggle to pick it up, and we're going to take this one, let's take this one right the way across the middle. So down, bit of a wiggle, take it down. Now it's got a little bit dry on there, so I'm just going to give just a little bit of a spray again. So I'm going to do this over here, flip right on the camera, just a couple of little mists. Don't want it too wet because being the normal cardstock, it doesn't absorb as well and it can go a bit sploshy, but let's see how this one does. This should just, there we are, it's a little bit watery on there. So we've got some plain ones and we've got some little watery ones. Just want to have a little piece. I'm going to do it right the way across the middle on here. Let's just take a little bit down on there and smooth it flat to take it down on this bit. So we've got some sort of splodgy bits on there. Now, with the darkest colour in the 3, I am going to show you another way. So we've got on here, if I hold it up closely, you can see that's really sort of a watercoloured, almost like a flat brush going down. That's a little bit drier and it sort of gives like sea pieces. Now on this one, we are literally just going to take the absolute edge of our block. So we've got no other pieces on there, and we're going to do some literal straight lines on there. Just like that. And then we're going to turn it. And this is very abstract, so you'll find that no 2 will ever really be the same, but that's part of the fun of it. So this is right on the edge, and we can do them anywhere you fancy them, really. I'm no artist, I just do things quite randomly. and I actually quite enjoy, the more random things are, the better I like it. So let's have a look at that. I think, oh, I'm just going to put another one down there. Okay, so that's this one on there, and then I'm just going to take the spray again, and I'm going to do this down this way so you can see it a bit. So I'm going to just hold it up quite a long way away, because you don't want a lot, you want a mist, and literally just mist it down a bit. And as you can see, as you mist it, the colour will just start to just sort of blend, and as the water takes it, it just takes it through. So I'm going to leave that one exactly like that and put that to one side. And we're going to work on another 3. So another piece of Whisper White cardstock. Bit of a spritz on both sides. As I say, things do get a little damp, but it does dry off. So spritz, spritz, spritz on that side. Turn it over. Spritz, spritz, spritz on that side, because then it makes the paper stay fairly sort of straight. Couple for good measure. And I'm going to use this time, we've got Berry Burst, we've got Sweet Sugar Plum, and we've got Powder Pink. So I'm just going to clean my block between each one so it's not picking up the same colour as the other. And obviously if you were doing them separately, you would go and wash them in the sink to make them all nice and clean, but I'm just literally just wiping this over. I've got a piece of kitchen paper here as well. So this one, we are going to start with our palest colour first. So let's take these out of the way. Let's start with this Powder Pink and see what we can do with this one. So again, the first ones, I take the side of it. You can use any size block you want, and this one you want it just sort of slightly flattened down, and we're going to take it this way and we're just going to wiggle it down. There we go. And as I say, I like to turn it because I like them to not all run the same way. I find that if you do it all on the same piece, you're more likely to actually turn round and get everything running the same way, which then isn't really as good as you could get it. Okay, so that's our pale pink, which is a lovely colour. I really do like this colour. It blends in so well. And the next one we're going to do is the next colour up. So let's use some Sweet Sugar Plum. And again with this one, we are going to take it from the side. So we have a little bit more on this. And we're going to take it in here and just wiggle it down like that. Let's take a little piece on here, wiggle it down. And as I say, you get different ones depending how much. That one and it's all part of playing. This one, I took it from the side. Let's see if I can do exactly the same thing again. So a little bit on there, so you've got it sort of slightly half covered. I don't know whether you can see this. And then we're going to take it, let's take it at that angle. Take it down from there. So a little bit down, and then just flatten it down as you go. And you get this sort of streaky pattern, almost like water falling, which I think is quite nice on there. Let's try and get another little piece, maybe at that angle on there, and bring it down. There we are. So you've got this sort of droppy piece on there. Right, now we're going to then take the darkest colour, and this is the one that we do just literally on the very edge. So if we take the very edge of it, because we want to get these lines now, so take a line, take it down, and let's put one at this sort of angle. This one and this one. I love the way you get completely fantastic straight lines by doing it this way, like that. And let's put one in the middle. Let's have one crossing here, shall we? A bit on there. I'm going to cross it there, so we've got almost like a treble cross. As I say, there is absolutely no wrong or right way from this. It's exactly what abstract art is. Abstract art is, as it says, it's just abstract. Okay, now I'm going to give this one a little bit of a spritz, and I think I might want it that way up, I think. Yes, that way I think looks better. So let's just give this one a little bit of a spritz, take the water a little bit away, spritz, spritz, spritz. It starts getting a little bit wetter, and you can see it's just starting to bleed out again, which is rather nice. In fact, I like it that way because those are the pieces that are coming down. Okay, so you can see how it's started to bleed. Let me show you the first one again. It's as it's starting to dry out, and you can see how you get these lovely sort of runs and colours in it. And this one will do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to put these to one side to dry. You will need to let them dry for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You can speed things up by using one of the heat gun. But to be quite honest, I find that if you use the heat gun, it does tend to warp the paper. So if you have a little patience, what I tend to do is to do a few of these, like I've done now, leave them and let them just completely dry off. So I'm going to move these out of the way so that they're not right on what we're doing, and give them a chance to dry. And then I can bring back in the one that I've already done so you can have a look. So let me just take this. I'm going to fold this in half and put it this way because I really don't want to get too much dampness on. So let's just move it across like that and put it that way for now. Right, there we go. So if I bring the other ones back in, these work absolutely perfectly, these sorts of backgrounds, with our lovely dies. We have so many beautiful dies at the moment, and standalone dies that you just need to put one thing on. So just a little tip for the dies: if you cut 2 images out, so this is the Sunshine Wishes, I've cut one in a thick cardstock. In fact, what I do is I save all the backings of all of the paper products that we have, because they come with a slightly stiffer card, and I cut those out. And then I've got the coordinating one for this one, which is the Tranquil Tide. When you put them together, if you do something which is called a drop shadow, so what you do is you glue one piece on top of the other, just a fraction to one side or the other, and what it does is it gives you what's called a drop shadow. Let me show you on this one. I don't know whether you can see. If you actually look at this quite closely, you can see that it's just a little bit to one side, so you get that slight drop shadow, and obviously it gives it a bit of height as well. I've just put a couple of rhinestones on there, obviously mounted it in coordinating cardstock. This one I would do exactly the same thing, and as I say, mount that in the Tranquil Tide. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial today. As always, all details will be over on my website, which is amethyststarcrafting.blogspot.com. Thank you ever so much for joining me again today, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.